going to address a problem with all navigation systems. No matter what navigation system you use, Garmin, phone, infotainment, doesn't matter. They all have a problem. And that problem is you can't see 3D and north up 2D at the same time. A common complaint, I've seen this a lot, is when anyone is talking about navigation systems, they say, I want to see more map. I don't want a bunch of stuff on the screen. Why is that? The primary reason why that is because this is in reality what they want, but when you're using this, it's kind of difficult to gauge where you are. In close distance, that's what this is for. You see how it's much easier to see where to take a turn here is in three-dimensional view, whereas in this one, well, the route line is a lot smaller, arrow is a lot smaller. And this is not just for Garmin's, this is for any navigation system. The solution is what you're looking at right now. Use 2. If you can stand to use it this way. Now this is this model is these are both Nuvia 1100s. I'm not saying you have to get this one in particular, but it's a reason to get 2 3.5-inch screens. It really is, because you could take this and put Velcro on the back and then attach it to some type of board or piece of flat plastic and mount it somewhere in the car, and you got to use the USB cable, you know, use a splitter for that, and then yeah, you could use 2 of these. And this one would actually not be navigating. You see a route line on it. I'm just doing that so they match. This one would always be in north up view, so you know where you are on the map at any given point. And this one is for when you need a quick reference for knowing what's coming up on the map. This one is for when you are about to take a turn, close distance stuff. So when it's, as you saw a moment ago, when you get close to it, to whatever turn that you're taking, okay, then at that point you have a much better indicator of where to turn, when to turn, and so on and so forth. And then when you get back out, when you finish that turn, then you go back to looking at this one and say, okay, where am I on the map right now? I have always found it amazing, I really have, that after all this time, after all the GPS assisted navigation that has existed, regardless of model, could be Garmin, could be TomTom, could be Magellan, could be, again, phone or infotainment, whatever. Nobody has ever had a system where you have 3D and 2D on the screen at the same time, like a split screen. So the only way to do it is you need 2. You have to. There's just no way around it. And the more that you look at this, the more that you examine what's going on here, you realize, oh yeah, that's actually really convenient. Because I'll give you a couple of examples. If you're doing some city driving and you need a quick reference of what other streets are around me, this gives you a much better idea of what's around you compared to this. Yeah, you do see street names and such, but when you're looking visually for, okay, where can I go? Oh, there was some type of thing in the road, I have to get around it. Okay, I could go right here, and okay, and then this will automatically adjust. That's why you only use this one in navigation, and then just let this one be the map and only the map. That's one example. Another example is even when you're en route and you don't have to take a turn. And let's just say you're doing some interstate travel, you need to see some far away distance. You don't have to mess with this one. You can just adjust the zoom on this guy. Great. Fantastic. Believe me, the more that you would use it this way, the more you realize, whoa, how come this is not a thing yet? Why is this not a thing? We need split screen. We need one for the close turns, one for the far away stuff. Yeah. Now, although I use a single screen, I use the DriveSmart 66 currently. There are times, I had it happen today, as a matter of fact. I was driving around and I was not using it to navigate, I was just using it for the map. And what I had to do in order, this is an example of what I had to do. I had to tap and, okay, here's where I am, but then I ran off the map and I had to drag it down, and this is while driving, which is stupid. Shouldn't do that. You should not be touching the screen while driving, ever. Just don't do it. Well, if I had this set up, then it wouldn't have been a problem. All I would have had to do is just look at this one and say, oh, that's where I am, and I can go around here and take my turn and such and so forth. You wouldn't think that having two screens would be safer. It is. It is. Because you've always got a map. Whether you're using Garmin issued maps, OpenStreetMap, whatever, it doesn't matter. So if you're at the point with your navigation where you're thinking, I just need to see more map, what can I do? Whoops, sorry, I'm hitting the camera everywhere today. Let's try to fix that. Come on. Thank you. You may need two screens. You may need to do this. Now, is there any particular model that I recommend here? Well, not necessarily this one. For 3.5-inch screens, maybe a Nuvi 30. Yeah, that would be a good one. I just know the 1100 really well, so it works out for me. Two Nuvi 40s would work out real well, or 42s. If you're using two 5-inch screens, you may have issue trying to mount that somewhere, unless you got a large car. If you got a smaller car, then yeah, you got to stick to the 3.5s. But anyway, I can assure you, no matter what navigation system you use, if at the end of the day you're thinking, I need more map, but I also need something where it tells me exactly where I am when I'm close to a turn, you've got to do the dual screen thing. Kind of ridiculous. Well, kind of. It's a lot ridiculous, actually, but yeah. If you want all the map, you want the far away stuff and the close-up stuff, you got to do two.